don't mention the Chinese problem to him, they only say they want to reduce the weight of their cargo. Enver accepts to do it for $100,000, which for them is a laughable amount to pay to save the deal and even make an extra $3 million. On December 8, 2007, they deliver the first 5 million rounds to the Afghan army without any issues. During Christmas, Is allows David to see the baby through a video call, the last good thing that happens to him before the problems begin. Later that night, Ephraim calls from the USA to tell him Henry has charged them a 400% markup and he wants him out of the deal for ripping them off. David immediately tries to stop him because Henry isn't the type of guy to mess around with, and they're making a huge amount of money anyway, so Ephraim would be sabotaging the whole operation. David points out he's been working very hard in Albania away from his family while Ephraim is comfortable in the USA, which sometimes makes him feel like they aren't truly partners, more like boss and overworked employee. Ephraim says he understands and promises him not to do anything, but he also steals the signed agreement from David's desk. It seems Ephraim doesn't keep his word, because a few days later, in the newly arrived 2008, David is kidnapped from his apartment and taken to the middle of an abandoned plot, where two thugs beat him up and Henry threatens him with a gun, warning him they can't cut him out of his own deal before leaving. Now scared, David decides to return to Miami, so he goes to the warehouse to pick up his things. Enver tells him he's never been paid and that he knows the real reason why they want to repack the ammo. He's also angry because Ephraim hasn't picked up the phone. David promises he'll wire him the money when he arrives in the US and that he'll be back in a week, but right as he's getting into a taxi, he's approached by Boshkam's wife, who tells him her husband has disappeared. Nobody has heard from Boshkam since then, and his body has never been found either. This makes David decide he's never going back to Albania. The first thing he does when he gets to Miami is to see Is and confess every single illegal activity he's committed for the company, and she takes him back when he says he'll quit the arms dealing business and become a massage therapist again. Afterward, he goes to see Ephraim to tell him he quits and demand his part of the deal. Ephraim feels betrayed and refuses to pay him, even after David tells him he'll send a lawyer if he doesn't get his money in 2 weeks, but Ephraim